So thank you, Roshan. And I think there was a good debate, gives you some pointers, but I'm going to the next level, what Roshan said. Whatever you repair it with, inside out, outside in, I think you have to enhance the meniscal repair so as to get better healing rates. I think that is something which is very important, because we all know that the healing rates in meniscus is quite not very high. There is a failure rate of up to 23%, so not all meniscus heals, and this has been shown by various papers and relook arthroscopies. So it is very important, more so when you're dealing with the medial meniscus, to make sure that whenever you repair it, the meniscus heals. And this is very paramount, because the function of the meniscus depends on whether it heals or not. And if it doesn't heal, then that's going to lead to a lot of problems, because we all know that the meniscus preservation leads to better functioning of the joint. We all know the functions of the meniscus. It's the bulwark against the joint destruction. It maintains the joint stability. It gives the joint cartilage the nutrition. It also reduces the forces acting on the joint. If the meniscus is removed, we know that the forces can be as high as 20-35%. And definitely, if you do a meniscectomy, it definitely leads to progression of osteoarthritis, and sooner or later then the joint will become degenerative. So this is all the reasons why we should always try to repair, and more importantly try to augment your repair with some technique. These are various papers which will show you that out of all the meniscus, only 74% healed completely, 10% partially, and 5% did not heal. We all know that younger the patient, the healing rate is better. If the BMI is less, again the healing is better. And of course, we know that if the tear is in the red zone, the healing is better. But does that mean that we should not repair the tears in the red-white zone or the white-white zone? Again, the current literature has shown that wherever the tear is, if it is amenable to repair, see, if it is a degenerative tear, if it is a complex tear, then you may not be able to repair it, and there are very classic indications for doing a meniscectomy. But otherwise, if you can repair it, and more importantly, augment the healing of your meniscus repair, especially if it is in the red-white zone or white-white zone. What are the principles of enhancement of meniscal healing? But before that, we have to be able to see the meniscus tear well, and you may sometimes on the medial side, especially when you're dealing with the MCL, do the pie crusting, depending on you, whether you want to do the tibial side, femoral side, that's your call, but do a pie crusting and get a good vision. The principle is to improve the blood supply of the meniscus by various techniques, and I like to compare this whenever you're treating a non-union. All of us have done trauma, and we have to freshen the bone edges, increase the bleeding, and then do the fixation. So similarly, by whatever technique, improve the blood supply, and then properly repair the meniscus with whatever technique. So which are the techniques which are available to us? We have the rasping and the trephinition, which are the mechanical techniques. We have the biological enhancement with ACL reconstruction. The tunnels itself help. We can do the microfracture. A fibrin clot is a good way. PRP can be used, and of late people have been talking about meniscus wraps as well as cell therapy. So meniscal rasping is something which is important. It's a mechanical way to improve the blood supply. All your meniscal tears, you have to have the various rasps which are at various angles and do the rasping of the meniscus. What you have to do is to rasp the meniscus itself and the meniscosynovial area, and this definitely improves the blood supply. So this is something which is very important, and it has shown that the meniscal rasping definitely releases the cytokines, which definitely help in proper healing. So rasping is an important step of whatever kind of meniscus tear you may have. And there are various studies again to show that if the rasping was done, like this study which was done on animal study on rabbits, showed that there was clearly a better healing in the rasping group. Second is trephination. You can do this trephination, either use a awl or you can use a spinal needle, and then you make multiple pricks. These techniques are easy, and you can do that. You can use also a spinal needle, and you go all the way, make multiple punctures there. This definitely helps in improving the blood supply. You can go all the way till the capsule. This is something which is very important. The next technique is the marrow stimulation. You know, all of us have this bone awl, or we use it to point the entry point for the ACL reconstruction. That is what we can use, and we penetrate inside about 9 to 10 millimeters. And again, there are papers to show that the marrow stimulation helps, and the marrow stimulation without an ACL tear, if done for a meniscus repair, is similar results when the marrow stimulation is done. And if the meniscal repair is done without the marrow stimulation, the results are inferior. This is the video showing I'm using a straight microfracture awl, penetrate about 8 to 9 millimeters inside, and you can see the marrow elements which come out, and these are the marrow elements which get into the meniscus, and this definitely has those cytokines and all the healing factors which will improve your healing. And this is again a rabbit study which shows that the better quantity of the reparative tissue was in the microstimulation group. The next technique is the meniscus repair with concomitant ACL reconstruction, and all of us don't realize, but when we do an ACL reconstruction, we are making the tunnels, and ACL reconstruction with a meniscal repair definitely gives you a better healing, and that has been shown here. Therefore, whenever you're making the femoral tunnels, tibial tunnels, what I urge people to do is do not release your tourniquet and wash out all the blood. In fact, let it be there, because whatever collects from the tunnels, it will help you to stimulate the healing, and those have cytokines and opens the cytokines pathways. And there is again enough literature to show that whenever you've done meniscal repair with the ACL reconstruction, the healing is better, and it is also similar to just a meniscal repair with marrow stimulation. The next technique is something which is very easily possible, not expensive at all, no extra cost, but we are not doing it because it's a little technically challenging. We can use the fibrin clot technique, which acts like a chemotactic and a mitogenic stimulus for the meniscal to heal. It's very easy. You draw about 30 to 50 cc of blood from the cubital vein. It is poured into a container, and then it is stirred with a glass rod for about 3 to 4 minutes. You keep stirring it till the consistency becomes firm, and stir it slowly, gently, and then this consistency, when it's become firm, you can put it on a gauze piece very slowly, steadily, and then cut it in various pieces of various sizes. So this is how you form the fibrin clot. There is no extra cost required, as you can see. It just requires the anesthetist to draw the blood. You take it in a sterile syringe, pour it, and then you roll it, make it into a proper shape, cut it into whatever sizes you want. And see, it's very easy to cut, and it's not really difficult. The challenge is, whenever you made these pieces, how do you put them into the joint? And that is something which is very important and can be a little messy. So you have to use a pipette or a small, that tuberculin syringe which we used to get. Use that and slowly inject it. You should not repair the meniscus first. You put the clot inside, or you may put one stitch at the most, and once your clot is inside, then you repair it either with all inside, inside out, whatever it is. But here, generally the vertical mattress sutures help, and once it is repaired, then this is how you will see, and your fibrin clot is there, and it definitely enhances your meniscus repair. So there is enough literature to show that a fibrin clot augmentation improved the healing rate from 73% to up to 95 to 100%. PRP is something which was described, which has been used. I tried to use it, but I have moved away from it. And again, you have to draw the blood, centrifuge it, and just inject it into the area of the tear. Not a very difficult technique. It can be done, but the problem is the results with it are not very encouraging. Sometimes some papers will show a good result, but majority of the papers are not showing any difference with the PRP. So I have personally moved away from using PRP because it's not enhancing the meniscus. But it is again something which one can do, especially if the joint is a little arthritic. In those early degeneration tears where there is some early arthrosis, I use it because then the PRP would at least help for the arthrosis, if not for the meniscus repair. This is various literature which does show that there is no difference in the healing. So it's up to you, your call, whether you want to use it or not. The meniscal wraps were actually described way back in 1991 by Henning, and they were popular at that time. But again, it is very difficult to use those meniscal wraps, and therefore, even though some papers have shown significant improvement, people have moved away from using meniscal wraps. Again, it is a difficult procedure, not possible to do arthroscopic. Sometimes one has to open it, and that can be an issue. Coming to the last part of the various techniques, now is the cell therapy, and this is what people have been using all the time. We are all talking about stem cells. Stem cells are being used in osteoarthritis quite rampantly, but for the meniscus tears, you know, do the mesenchymal stromal cells help? Does the BMAC help? Does the adipose tissues help? I think that is the big question which all of us have to ask. And again, the results are there, but again, not very conclusive. And we have to still wait till the ideal stem cell can be developed for meniscal healing. But I think the future probably is going to be the cell-based stimulation. So I think what is more important is something which works, which you should use, that is the rasping and trephination. You should definitely do it in all the cases. If you're doing an ACL reconstruction, it's a automatic, a natural way to stimulate your healing. A microfracture, if it is an isolated tear without a ACL or a PCL, means where you're not making any tunnels. Sometimes when you're making a tunnel to do your root repair, which was shown in the earlier session, that itself will stimulate the biology because you're making tunnels. So rather than all suture anchor fixation for root repair, I prefer to do a tunnel. I moved away from the 2 tunnels. I do 1 tunnel about 4 millimeters. So that itself helps for the cells to be released. So that is something which I do now for all the cases, isolated root repairs. Microfracture, of course, is there. If you don't have a ACL reconstruction done, no tunnels, then do a microfracture for isolated meniscal repairs. Fibrin clot, not very difficult. Start doing it. First few cases, the clot may dislodge and move away, but don't get discouraged. In few cases, you will start getting the right trick. PRP, I don't use it. Meniscal wraps, I have never used it. Stem cells is something which I am looking forward to. I have not done a single case with stem cells, but this is something which will probably be the future. So friends, whatever technique you use, and we can debate about inside out, outside in, all inside, and it's the fracture, it's the tear morphology, the meniscal tear morphology, which will decide what type of repair to do. But more importantly, you know, whenever you repair it, whatever technique you use, make sure that you augment the meniscal repair, and there is enough evidence to show that your healing rates will definitely improve and you can get a success rate of up to 95%. So in summary, whatever technique you use, it matters. I definitely do a mechanical stimulation in all the cases. If I'm not doing a ACL, I definitely do a microfracture. I'm still waiting for the stem cells to come. But at the end of the day, the message is very clear. What we always say, save the meniscus. So if we can save the meniscus, we are going to save that joint from getting arthritic and definitely help the patient by avoiding any further degeneration, and probably we can save a total knee replacement. So friends, as I come to the last part of my talk, I want to request your support for the Vice Presidential elections. I'm standing for the post of Indian Arthroscopy Society Vice President. I need your support. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, Parag.